One of the biggest problems I've realized in reviewing all of these Peanuts specials is figuring out which ones were straight adapted from stories told in the comic strips and which were actual original stories. Keep in mind that the original Peanuts comic strip ran for 50 years, and being able to research the entire strip line to prepare for these reviews has never really been within my abilities. I'm often going on what I remember reading myself from whatever collection books I had as a kid. So I'm very sure I've made mistakes before as to what was an original story and what wasn't, and even as I try to do better as I wrap these up, I probably will screw up more. If I ever suggest any of these Peanuts specials was not adapted from the comics, but it turns out it was, my apologies in advance. With that having been said, let's finally look at what may be the most famous Peanuts special that was an original creation away from the comics. It's a mystery Charlie Brown. It's again one of the first Charlie Brown specials I ever saw, and while I don't think the story was adapted from one of the strips, the special itself was adapted into comic book and novel forms, and it was actually one of those books where I saw the story first. How does it hold up? Here we go. We open with Woodstock looking to build himself a new nest. Yeah, I don't think Woodstock's making the cover of Better Homes and Gardens. But our little bird friend persists and ends up building the perfect nest. In fact, he's so proud of himself, he celebrates by heading out to the pool, not realizing that it's typhoon season. By the way, yes, a lot of this footage does look familiar, and I had to double check. This special came out 3 years before Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, but it still doesn't make much sense because Race for Your Life was made in widescreen format for theaters, right? Maybe both were animated at around the same time and they used cropped footage for this edition, who knows. In the meantime, we cut to this bit where Sally is bitching up a storm about her homework and some nature project she has to bring to school. And if I have one critique from an objective standpoint, I just feel like this scene would have been better put immediately after the cold open and title sequence before moving on back to Woodstock. Because, of course, this whole thing is important to the plot. Anyway, after riding out the storm at Snoopy's, Woodstock heads back home, only to find home isn't there anymore. Good dog that he is, once Snoopy finds out his friend is in peril, he immediately jumps into action to find the missing nest. But not before dressing the part, of course! Yeah, that's gonna be a running gag, so just get used to it now. Much of the second act is Sherlock Snoopy canvassing the neighborhood for clues and interrogating the kids. He, of course, starts with Charlie Brown, and Chuck shows some amazing resolve even under the hot lights.
A nest? I don't know what you're talking about. What nest? I haven't seen any nest. I refuse to confess to something that I don't know anything about.
Huh, not so wishy-washy all of a sudden. We get some more jokes involving him going to Linus and Lucy's, Marcy's, Pigpen's, until we get to the big joke, Peppermint Patty's. She assumes Snoopy is playing cops and robbers and decides to get in on the fun.
Stick 'em up. Bang, bang. I gotcha. Your money or your life, you dirty rat.
Come on, Snoopy! Just lead her to the diamond mine and let the ghosts take care of her! None of you have any damn clue what I'm talking about there. At any rate, once they escape Bandit Patty, our animal duo make it back to the scene of the crime, and now decide to actually follow the trail of footprints that they saw at the very beginning. Gee, Snoopy, are you drawing inspiration from Sherlock Holmes or Inspector Clouseau? The footprints lead them to the school where, sure enough, the nest is on display. And Snoopy and Woodstock are able to get in because someone just left a window open. Ah, the innocence of the 70s. They retrieve the nest and take it back to Woodstock's tree, and the next day we find out, to no surprise, that Sally was the one who took it because she thought it was some sort of prehistoric artifact. Yeah, Sally never was the sharpest tool in the box. Sally and Snoopy are about to get into a brawl over who rightfully owns the nest before Chuck decides they need third-party arbitration. And it's here we learn that Lucy is more than just this universe's version of Dr. Phil. She's also Judge Judy. That makes too much damn sense. After a scene that I'm pretty sure may have been part inspiration for Night Court, Lucy rules that Woodstock is the rightful owner of the nest. And the winning side celebrates while Sally goes back to pouting.
This does it. My career grinds to a halt before I even get started.
What career, Sally? I thought you only dreamed of being a good housewife with your sweet baboo. But Charlie actually has a solution for his sister's crisis. Recreating the Pavlov's dog experiment? I guess it's better than doing Schrodinger's cat. And the special ends on... Okay, Woodstock, maybe you might want to look into a professional contractor next time. This was one of my favorite specials as a kid, and honestly, it still really holds up. The dialogue can be sparse at times, and it does sometimes feel like the Vince Guaraldi music is just background noise, but the plot really does go fluidly, and the gags still really work very well. And while some of the characters can be annoying, the story does come up with a resolution that leaves everyone satisfied. This is definitely a must-watch for any fans of classic Peanuts. Just be forewarned, it's one of the most difficult Peanuts specials to find. It had very few DVD releases, primarily as part of the Peanuts 1970s collection, which of course can now go for a pretty penny on the second market. Sometimes getting your hands on a classic special like this can be as much of a mystery as finding Woodstock's nest itself.